Hoops Hype ranks the 5 players who have appeared most often in trade rumors over the previous week, headlined this week by Giannis Antetokounmpo. As we inch closer to the NBA trade deadline of 2026-27, bigger names are starting to pop up in rumors, including that of one former NBA MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Today, that player leads off our latest trade rumors ranking series, in which we rank the 5 players who have appeared most often in trade rumors over the previous week. Check out the full list below. 5. Trae Young, Atlanta. 4-time All-Star Trae Young hasn't played since October 29th, and yet the Atlanta Hawks are off to as good a start as they've had in years, sitting at 14-11. Like other enigmatic point guards, Young has heard his name mentioned in trade rumors this season, including in this report from ESPN. Speaking of how well the Hawks are playing without Young, an anonymous source criticized Young more to ESPN. The thing is, Young has proven in the past to be up to the task of leading a team on a deep playoff run. He just has to have a great team around him. Maybe Atlanta will be fine staying put with Young at the helm once he returns, as the team does have a strong roster this season. Either way, it doesn't seem his trade value is all that high right now. 4. Trey Murphy, New Orleans. The New Orleans Pelicans, owners of the worst record in the NBA at 3-22, don't have much going right for them these days, including Zion Williamson being set to miss even more time due to injury. As such, the team is naturally hearing a lot of noise as far as potential trades recently. One player who has come up in such rumors is 25-year-old swingman Trey Murphy, who is averaging 20.5 points and 6.5 rebounds on 36.3 3-point% shooting this season. According to NBA reporter Jake Fisher, the Pelicans are starting to listen to offers on the Murphy trade front. That report was negated by a Pelicans blogger though, so it should be taken for what it's worth. In the NBA, players are untouchable until they aren't, and considering how far off the Pelicans are from contention, there shouldn't be a player on their roster who is not up for grabs on the trade market, at least anyone who isn't a rookie. New Orleans is certainly a team that should be kept an eye on as we get closer to the trade deadline. 3. Ja Morant, Memphis. Fisher dropped another surprising nugget recently when he reported that the Miami Heat of all teams have had internal discussions about picking up Ja Morant. We're not entirely sure how that fit would work, especially with how steady Davion Mitchell has been running point for Miami this season. With the Heat performing better than expected this year, and the team fully at peace after the departure of Jimmy Butler, going after Morant doesn't make the most sense for Miami, in our estimation. At the same time, there's no denying his massive talent level. And Miami probably won't contend this season without more truly elite talent, so who knows? Maybe this is a swing they decide to take in an attempt to hit a grand slam. According to the New York Times, the Sacramento Kings and Minnesota Timberwolves are monitoring the Morant trade front. With so much smoke, the Morant situation in Memphis is one that has to continue to be monitored. 2. Anthony Davis, Dallas. Since returning from injury, former number 1 pick Anthony Davis has shown flashes of his former prime self, enjoying 32 and 29-point performances. Overall, in his last 4 games, Davis is averaging 20.0 points, 11.5 rebounds, 4.0 assists, and 1.8 blocks on 51.5% shooting. However, according to a recent report, teams might be hesitant to trade for Davis anyway due to cap restrictions. Also making teams wary is his troubling injury history, including in this very season. We aren't entirely sure how the Davis saga unfolds. On one hand, he doesn't fit the team's current time frame, especially not with Kyrie Irving set to miss so much of this season. On the other, the Mavericks are a proud franchise and winners of 4 of their last 5, so maybe they'd rather try to compete with Davis now healthy. 1. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Milwaukee. The most interesting storyline of this trade deadline centers in Wisconsin, as reports have indicated that Giannis Antetokounmpo has already asked out of Milwaukee in favor of joining the New York Knicks. While the Bucks have reportedly told teams that the Greek superstar is not available. Since the initial report from ESPN's Brian Windhorst came out, a plethora of reporting on the matter from other sources has come to light. ESPN's Shams Charania, for example, reported afterward that Antetokounmpo and his camp have started talks with Milwaukee about whether or not Antetokounmpo will stay with the Bucks long term. ESPN also reported that it wouldn't be New York or bust for Antetokounmpo. Doc Rivers, frustrated with the media and reporting on the matter, then said that Antetokounmpo hadn't asked for a trade. The Lakers, Clippers and Heat were also reportedly mentioned as other potential suitors for the former league MVP, though they were waiting until he could hit free agency in 2027. And all of that is just a taste of the huge amount of reporting on the Antetokounmpo trade front over the last week. For even more in-depth reporting on the matter, just follow the link below. If you purchase through our links, the USA Today network may earn a commission. Prices were accurate at the time of publication but may change.